Let's create a new project in Android Studio and learn more about bottom navigation. To do this, start Android Studio. To create a new project, click Start a new Android Studio project. In the application name section, I give a name to my project, for example, bottom navigation. I click Next, and I set the minimum SDK to API 15 or Android 4, and Next. In this list, there's an activity called Bottom Navigation Activity. You can select this activity to create a default bottom navigation in Android Studio. However, as we are going to create a bottom navigation from the ground up, I'm going to select Empty Activity. I click Next and Finish. I wait until Android Studio creates my project. Alright, the Gradle operations finished successfully and the project was created. The first thing we need to do to create a bottom navigation is to make sure that the design library has been added to our project. Bottom navigation is in the design library, so I go to the File menu and I click Project Structure. Under the Modules section, I select App and I go to the Dependencies tab. By clicking the plus sign, Library Dependency, and then selecting the design library, I add this library to the Dependencies section. I wait until Android Studio compiles my project and adds the design library to the project. The Gradle operations finished successfully and the design library was added to the project. Now I go to the Resource section and inside the Layout folder I open the Activity Main layout. I go to the Text section. As you see, Constraint Layout is our default root element. I'm going to remove this root element completely and use a relative layout instead. And I close my root element. In the preview pane, I set the height and width of my relative layout to match parent. Now inside my relative layout, I define a bottom navigation. Now I type android.support.design.widget.bottom navigation view. My bottom navigation requires a width and a height. In the preview section, I set its width to match parent and its height to wrap content. So note that the width of our bottom navigation is determined by the width of our layout and its height is determined by its content, which is usually equal to 5 dp. After width and height, I define an ID for my bottom navigation view. For example, I type @+id slash bottom navigation underscore ID. Next, I define a background for my bottom navigation view. I type Android:\background. For its value, I'm going to use Android's default window background attribute. This type of background is often used for bottom navigations. So I type $Android:\attribute/window background. And that's it for our bottom navigation view's background. Now I'm going to define a menu layout for my bottom navigation view, and inside the menu layout, I'm going to define the items of my bottom navigation view. That's it for this lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to create a menu layout inside our bottom navigation view, and inside the menu layout, we will define the items that we want to be added to our bottom navigation view. So make sure you follow the rest of bottom navigation view tutorials in the next lecture.